Imagine waking up to rumors that an unstoppable army was coming. An army so terrifying that entire cities surrendered without a fight. This wasn't a myth. This was the Mongol Empire. And at its center stood one man. A man who would conquer more land than anyone in history. His name was Genghis Khan. But he wasn't born a conqueror. He was born into a world of violence and survival. When he was only 9 years old, his father was poisoned. His family was abandoned and left to starve. Most people would have disappeared into history. Temujin chose a different path. He began gathering followers. Then more followers arrived. And soon, entire tribes pledged loyalty to him. For the first time, the Mongol tribes were becoming united. In 1206, everything changed. Temujin received a new title. The title was Genghis Khan, and the world would never be the same again. Unlike most armies, every Mongol warrior carried multiple horses, allowing incredible travel speed. A Mongol army could travel farther in days than enemies managed in weeks. Before defenders received warnings, Mongol riders were often already approaching city walls. Their speed alone created fear across kingdoms that had never seen them. But speed was only one weapon in an army built for complete battlefield dominance. Every warrior trained from childhood to ride and shoot simultaneously. Their famous composite bows were deadly, powerful, and devastatingly accurate at range. Enemy soldiers often died before getting close enough to attack the Mongols. The Mongols mastered a terrifying tactic that repeatedly tricked entire enemy armies. They would pretend defeat, lure enemies forward, then suddenly turn and attack relentlessly. Many commanders believed victory was near moments before complete disaster struck. Entire armies vanished because they underestimated the intelligence behind Mongol warfare. Discipline inside Mongol ranks was unlike anything most civilizations had ever witnessed. Cowardice, disobedience, and failure often carried severe punishment within their military. Every soldier understood his role, creating battlefield coordination far ahead of their enemies. This organization transformed nomadic horsemen into history's most feared military machine. Soon, neighboring kingdoms began hearing horrifying stories from surviving witnesses. Stories described cities burning and armies collapsing within astonishingly short periods. Some rulers dismissed these reports, believing fear had exaggerated reality. Those rulers would soon learn that reality was often much worse. The Mongols didn't simply conquer territory, they conquered the minds of enemies. Fear often arrived long before the first Mongol horse crossed borders. Rumors spread faster than armies, weakening resistance before battles even began. Some cities surrendered immediately, hoping cooperation might spare their population. Others chose resistance and prepared to defend their homes at all costs. The decisions those cities made often determined whether they survived or vanished. Resistance sometimes brought consequences that neighboring kingdoms would never forget. As Mongol victories multiplied, their reputation became almost supernatural across Eurasia. People began wondering whether anyone could actually stop the Mongol advance. The answer would soon arrive, but not before the Mongols reshaped the known world. By 1218, Genghis Khan ruled an empire stretching across vast regions of Asia. But one wealthy empire stood directly between the Mongols and further expansion. The Khwarezm Empire controlled major trade routes connecting Asia, Persia, and the Middle East. At first, Genghis Khan wanted trade, diplomacy, and peaceful relations with them. He sent merchants carrying valuable goods and official messages of friendship. Instead of welcoming them, local officials accused the merchants of being spies. The merchants were arrested, their goods confiscated, and many were executed. Genghis Khan was furious, but still gave diplomacy one final chance. He demanded punishment for those responsible and the release of survivors. The Khwarezm ruler responded with one of history's most disastrous decisions. He executed one Mongol ambassador and humiliated the others before sending them back. The insult shocked even people who normally feared challenging powerful rulers. Genghis Khan now viewed the conflict as personal, not merely political. What followed became one of the most devastating military campaigns in human history. In 1219, the Mongol invasion of the Khwarezm Empire officially began. The Shah expected Mongol forces to attack using traditional military methods. Instead, the Mongols launched coordinated attacks across multiple directions simultaneously. Entire cities suddenly discovered Mongol armies appearing where no one expected possible. The Mongols crossed deserts previously considered impossible for large armies. This maneuver completely shattered enemy expectations and destroyed defensive planning. One by one, major cities fell before the advancing Mongol armies. Bukhara, one of the empire's greatest cities, soon faced the Mongol assault. Its citizens hoped strong walls would protect them from invasion. History would prove that walls alone could not stop the Mongols. After entering Bukhara, Genghis Khan reportedly addressed the defeated population. His words reinforced the terrifying image already spreading throughout neighboring kingdoms. News traveled quickly, carrying stories of destruction far beyond battlefields. Refugees fled westward, bringing terrifying first-hand accounts of Mongol warfare. Many listeners initially believed these stories were exaggerated or impossible. Unfortunately, reality often proved even worse than the stories described. After Bukhara's fall, another legendary city stood directly in the Mongols' path. Samarkand was one of the richest and most important cities alive. Its ruler believed massive defenses and thousands of soldiers guaranteed the city's survival. The Mongols arrived and surrounded the city with terrifying efficiency. Defenders expected a long siege, but the Mongols had different plans entirely. They combined military pressure, deception, speed, and relentless psychological warfare. Soon, cracks began appearing inside Samarkand's defenses and leadership structure. Some soldiers lost confidence and began questioning whether resistance was hopeless. The Mongols understood that fear could destroy cities faster than weapons. Eventually, Samarkand fell, shocking rulers throughout Asia and the Islamic world. Meanwhile, the Shah abandoned his people and fled westward. His decision shattered morale across an empire already struggling to survive. Most conquerors would have secured territory first, then pursued fleeing enemies later. Genghis Khan instead ordered one of history's most extraordinary manhunts. 2 elite generals received orders to chase the Shah across continents if necessary. The pursuit covered thousands of kilometers across mountains, deserts, and dangerous terrain. Wherever the Shah fled, Mongol riders somehow appeared behind him. The chase became legendary, demonstrating Mongol determination, unlike anything their enemies expected. Eventually, the Shah died, while hiding far from his former empire. His empire collapsed, but the Mongols were only beginning their transformation into history's greatest conquerors. With Central Asia conquered, Mongol armies turned their attention toward unfamiliar lands farther west. Beyond the steppes lay powerful kingdoms that had never faced Mongol warfare. Many rulers believed distance alone would protect them from the growing empire. Unfortunately for them, the Mongols excelled at reaching places considered impossible to invade. Their next major target would become one of history's most famous battles. In 1223, Mongol forces encountered a coalition of Russian princes and allies. The coalition believed their numerical advantage would secure an easy victory. The Mongols responded with a strategy they had perfected against countless enemies before. They pretended to retreat and encouraged the coalition army to pursue. For days, enemy forces chased what appeared to be a defeated Mongol army. The pursuit stretched their formations and destroyed coordination between different allied forces. Then the Mongols suddenly turned around and launched a devastating counterattack. The result was complete disaster for the coalition at Kalka River. Thousands died while Mongol casualties remained remarkably low throughout the engagement. The victory revealed a terrifying truth about Mongol military superiority to Europe. Yet strangely, the Mongols did not immediately continue their western advance. For years, Europe enjoyed a temporary pause while Mongol priorities shifted elsewhere. Many leaders assumed the threat had disappeared permanently from their world. They would eventually discover that the Mongols were merely preparing something larger. When the Mongols returned, they would unleash one of the most terrifying invasions Europe ever witnessed. Years later, a new generation of Mongol leaders prepared another massive Western campaign. Leading the invasion was Batu Khan, grandson of the legendary Genghis Khan. His mission was simple: expand Mongol power deeper into Europe than ever. The invasion began with attacks against the fragmented Russian principalities scattered across the region. Unfortunately, the Russian princes remained divided instead of forming united resistance. The Mongols understood that divided enemies were always easier to defeat individually. One city after another found itself facing overwhelming Mongol military force. Many defenders expected winter conditions to slow or completely halt the invasion. Instead, the Mongols transformed winter into one of their greatest advantages. Frozen rivers became highways, allowing armies to travel where impossible before. Cities relying on natural barriers suddenly discovered those barriers no longer existed. The Mongols maintained pressure relentlessly, refusing to give defenders time for recovery. Entire populations watched in disbelief as winter failed to stop the invaders. One of the most important targets was the ancient city of Kiev. Kiev was a symbol of power, wealth, religion, and regional influence. Its defenders prepared desperately, knowing the Mongols were approaching rapidly. By now, terrifying stories about Mongol warfare had spread throughout Eastern Europe. Many citizens feared the city's fate had already been decided. Soon, Mongol forces surrounded Kiev and began preparing their siege operations. The city resisted fiercely, despite overwhelming odds stacked against its defenders. For days, both sides fought while the city's future remained uncertain. Eventually, Mongol siege techniques created breaches in the city's defenses. Once inside, the outcome became impossible for defenders to reverse. The fall of Kiev shocked Europe and demonstrated Mongol power beyond any doubt. Now the road towards Central Europe appeared frighteningly open. European rulers suddenly realized they might be facing an unprecedented military threat. Many still believed heavily armored knights would defeat any invading force. The Mongols would soon test that belief on several devastating battlefields. What happened next would become one of Europe's greatest military nightmares. The stage was set for battles that would convince millions the Mongols were truly unstoppable. In 1241, the Mongols launched coordinated invasions designed to overwhelm Europe from multiple directions. European rulers struggled to understand how one empire attacked everywhere at once. One Mongol army advanced toward Poland, while another targeted Hungary directly. The strategy prevented European kingdoms from concentrating their forces against a single enemy. Soon, Mongol forces approached one of Poland's most important battlefields. European defenders gathered under Duke Henry to confront the advancing threat. Both armies prepared for a clash that would become known as Legnica. European knights trusted their armor, discipline, and battlefield experience. The Mongols relied on speed, deception, intelligence, and battlefield flexibility. The battle quickly demonstrated the effectiveness of Mongol military doctrine. European formations became increasingly confused as Mongol tactics disrupted coordination between units. At critical moments, the Mongols executed feigned retreats with deadly precision. Pursuing forces gradually lost discipline and became vulnerable to coordinated attacks. Then the Mongols reversed direction and struck with devastating speed and organization. The result was a crushing defeat for the European coalition. News of Legnica spread fear throughout kingdoms far beyond Poland's borders. While Poland suffered defeat, another Mongol army advanced toward Hungary simultaneously. Hungary possessed one of the strongest kingdoms in Central Europe. Its ruler gathered a massive army, hoping to stop the invasion. The two forces finally met near the Mohi battlefield, beside the Sajo River. Hungarian commanders expected traditional warfare and conventional battlefield tactics. Instead, the Mongols launched a carefully planned operation involving multiple coordinated attacks. The battle continued through darkness, creating confusion among defending forces. Mongol engineers and commanders adapted rapidly whenever unexpected obstacles appeared. Eventually, Hungarian defenses collapsed under relentless pressure from multiple Mongol directions. The defeat shattered Hungary's military power and regional stability. Across Europe, fear reached levels never previously experienced by many rulers. Some believed the Mongols would eventually conquer the entire continent. The terrifying reputation of the Mongols often spread faster than armies. Many communities panicked before ever seeing a single Mongol warrior themselves. Part of this success came from exceptional Mongol intelligence gathering networks. Scouts collected information about roads, armies, defenses, supplies, and political divisions. This knowledge allowed commanders to exploit weaknesses with remarkable efficiency. European leaders often underestimated how informed their opponents actually were. Despite victories, events far away would soon alter the course of history. In Mongolia, the great Khan Ogedei unexpectedly died during winter. His death created a political crisis, requiring senior Mongol leaders to return. Suddenly, the unstoppable advance into Europe came to a halt. Many Europeans never learned how close they may have come. An event thousands of kilometers away may have changed Europe's future forever. Without Ogedei's death, historians still debate how far expansion continued. Their victories reshaped trade routes, borders, politics, and military thinking. Few empires changed the world as dramatically or rapidly as theirs. Even enemies acknowledged the extraordinary discipline behind Mongol military success. Their combination of mobility, intelligence, and adaptability revolutionized medieval warfare permanently. For generations, stories of Mongol invasions continued spreading across Eurasia. The empire eventually fragmented, but its influence remained impossible to ignore. Centuries later, historians still study how the Mongols achieved seemingly impossible conquests. This is why kingdoms trembled, armies retreated, and entire civilizations feared the Mongols.